Hello there, good morning, welcome back to my channel. My name's Louise and this is Louise's Lifestyle. Thank you for joining me. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, like and share with your friends. So today I'm doing a repot of one of my beetle leaf plants, Piper beetle or paan, and it's this variety. This is called Bangla paan. So there are many different types of beetle leaf. In the other videos that you may have seen, I've got a small leaf variety, and I got that from Sri Lanka. I think that's more of a wild beetle leaf and much smaller leaves than this. So originally I had my first Bangla plant cutting back in 2013. My brother-in-law came over from Bangladesh and brought me a little cutting, and I grew that on. I had that for 7 years, and then unfortunately the plant died last year. So I had to replace that plant because I like growing it, and I couldn't get hold of this variety. I only got the Sri Lankan variety, but anyway, I managed to get my hands onto this Bangla paan, and it's got a good root system on it. And if you can see there, but it definitely needs to be repotted. So I'll just turn it round. You can see the roots definitely, desperately trying to get out of there. So it's just in a normal sort of coir mix with perlite and a little bit of nutrients in there. And so what I've got, I've got one of these coir. So this is coir compost, and I'll show you how you make that. Well, I'm not going to do the whole thing on camera, but basically that you can get these in pet shops, or you can order them online, because they use these in reptile vivariums, but I use it for compost. So dehydrated solid brick of coconut fibre, and what you do is take a brick like this, get your bucket, one of these in there, and I pour hot water on. Now you don't have to pour hot water, but I like to do that just to make sure that it's completely sterile. So I'm boiling it, basically killing off any bacteria, which I doubt there is any because it's in a dehydrated block, but just in case, kill off any bugs that might get in there, and then let it cool down, obviously, and then you're ready to use it. So I've been potting up some other plants you've seen in another video. I did a mango planting update. So the level it came up to, you can just see the mark there, it filled this bucket. I just use this ladle to give it a good old stir, make sure that all of it was hydrated. Now, because this is an established plant, it does need nutrients. So there are no nutrients in this coir, so you need to add those in. So when you've got an established plant, you've got to add food to that. You can either give it liquid food, but I prefer to add nutrients to it. So what I've done is I've got this pot ready, and you can see I've used the pot to gauge how much soil is in there. And what I've done, I've added perlite. You see these little white bits there, that's perlite. So perlite gives it drainage, it helps the water drain through, so it's not sitting in like soggy, damp conditions. You want to water your plant, but you don't want it to be overly wet. Moist is the aim. What you want your compost to be. Also, I've added to that, I've added 2 handfuls, literally 2 handfuls of this. And this is a vermi. It says mega worm. So this is worm poop, basically, vermicompost. So I've added 2 handfuls of that. And worm compost is excellent for plants. It's organic, you know, there's no chemicals. Literally, it is what worms do is they break down things like food waste and organic matter. They break it down, and then obviously they poop it out, and it's the poop that is very high in nutrients. And so 2 handfuls of this in this mixture. And also to add to the drainage, because I didn't have a lot of perlite in there, I've run out of perlite, so I add some orchid bark. Oops, daisy. I'll just show you what the orchid bark looks like. And that gives, it will make the soil aerated, so your soil is not compact. You want to add a little bit of this in order to give, you know, like create air pockets in the soil, because the roots not only need water, they need air, and you'd be surprised how much air, you know, the roots need to have. So you just sprinkle a little bit of that in there. So I'll just add a little bit more. You can add more than that. I've already mixed mine in, and just to give it a little bit more sort of to help with the drainage, I use this cacti and succulent potting mix. It says it's got Ceramis granules for optimum water and nutrient availability. Let's see if it's got any nutrients in here. Okay, so yeah, it's just basically sort of helps with good drainage. Right, so I'm going to tip this out and put it in the pot. So let's try and do that without making too much mess. I'm going to do this over, let me just bring the camera a bit nearer. Right, very carefully. I'll have to get the hoover out in a minute. Just show you. Let me just put the pot there. Before I put it in, you can see the roots underneath. So I'm just going to slot this in. So I've made the hole in there already. Just pop it in there. Just get Michael. Right, I've just put a tray underneath because there is some water, you know, dripping out of the pot, because, as I say, the compost is still wet, so you know water will still be you know, coming out of it. So I don't need to water it as such. So hopefully this plant will now put on some more growth before winter. When we reach winter, November, December time, we're in late August now, so I'm hoping we'll get a couple more months of growth out of it, and it perhaps gets to about this size. So it's a, you know, it's put on some decent growth before December, because it will stop growing by that time. The light levels will drop, and there won't be you know, the long summer days that this plant, you know, prefers. So if you've got a beetle leaf plant and you're worried that, you know, during the winter time it's not growing, that's quite normal. You may even in fact see some leaf drop. So in some places, I know that in Florida there's a place that sells, no, not Florida, sorry, in New York, that sells beetle leaf, and they let their plants, they cut them back to ground level, you know, so there's like a little stub. and then theirs regrow again. But I've not tried that, you know. When mine died off, it never came back, so I don't want to let it you know, completely die back, but it will go into a dormant state, and as I say, there won't be any growth coming off it, and you may see some leaf drop if you're growing beetle leaf. So no feeding during the winter months either. If you want to feed them, give them a very dilute seaweed solution, maybe Miracle Grow or Baby Bio, even, you know, whatever. But don't overfeed them. They're not really they don't really like a lot of feeding. You might in fact find, if you're overfeeding, that the leaves start to turn brown and crispy, and that means you've got too much salt building up in the compost. Salt from the fertilizer builds up, and sometimes you get like a white crusty sort of layer on the top, and that's not mold, that's salt residue. So what you need to do is flush out all the chemicals if you're using chemical fertilizer, and keep the water, you know, just keep it plain water for a while, and then slowly introduce, you know, little bits of you know, nutrients into it. But as I say, don't do that until spring and summer, you know, when the plant's actively growing. So this is still actively growing, you know, we're putting out new leaves. We've got 1, 2, 3, oops a daisy, I think I broke a leaf there, oh dear, just broke a leaf off there. That won't grow, you know. I know some people have tried to grow from a single leaf. I've done it many times. It doesn't work. You need the nodes. You need these little joints, you know, where the leaf axils are. There's a little node there. That's what you need in order to grow these on. So, thank you for watching. If you've got any comments regarding growing beetle leaf, add them in the box, in the comments box below. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.